establishments for certain periods before and after childbirth, and provision of maternity and other benefits that has to be provided to a women worker who are in the family way. The scope and coverage of this act is that this act extends to the whole of India, is applicable to every factory, mine, or the state government may extend the act to any other establishment or class of establishment by notification in the official gazette, industrial, commercial, agriculture or otherwise any other sector. However, the act does not apply to any such factory or establishment to which provisions of ESI Act is applicable, right? The exception is that if ESI Act is applicable, then Marriage Benefits Act will not be applied, and vice versa is also true. Now, this act in the whole of India, except the state of Jammu and Kashmir, but after the withdrawal of the special provisions that was governing the state of Jammu and Kashmir, we find that it is now applicable to Jammu and Kashmir as well. The employer entitled is every women employee, whether employed directly or through a contractor, who has actually worked in the establishment for a period of at least 80 days during the last 12 months, immediately preceding the date of her expected delivery. That is, a women worker, if she has worked for 80 days during the last 12 months preceding the date of delivery, is entitled to receive maternity benefits. Now, even if this particular period is not complete, maternity benefits cannot be denied, except that the person will not get other benefits, but leave cannot be denied to them. There is neither a wage ceiling for coverage under this act, nor there is any restriction on the organization and the type of work a woman is engaged in. That is the basic entitlement. So everybody is covered, every women employee, irrespective of their salary, their position, they are entitled for the maternity benefit. Now, both central and state governments has enacted this act as far as the authority is concerned. So for the state, it is the state government who is the authority, and for the central government establishment, it is the central government who is the administrative authority. It says that there should be no restriction of pregnant women, and no employer should knowingly deny employment to a women worker who is in the family way during the period of 6 weeks immediately following the days of her delivery or miscarriage, without that woman working in any establishment during the said period of 6 weeks. Further, the employer should not require a pregnant woman to do any arduous work involving long hours of standing or any other work which may interfere with her pregnancy. This is clearly written as in the act. Any discharge or dismissal of employee while she is in the family way is considered as void as far as law is concerned. This void is VOID. This Act of 1961 was amended in 1980, but prior to 1989, the total period of leave was 12 weeks of leave, 6 weeks either side was allowed. That is 6 weeks before and 6 weeks after confinement that was given in the original Act of 1961. But in 1989, this was amended, and the amendment was that this whole 12 weeks of leave can be availed after the expected date of delivery or a few days before the expected days of delivery. Women the Act of the number of children she has got. So there is no restriction on the number of children, whether a woman has got 1 or 2 or a dozen, she is entitled for leave. But that leave condition is that for up to 2 children, they will be entitled for paid leave, whereas any other number of children, she will not be entitled for paid leave, will be without pay. Amount of benefit under this particular Act, the Maternity Benefit Act is applicable to or payable to a women worker at the average daily wages for the period of her actual absence during the benefit period. That is, she is going to get her full salary that she was drawing before going on leave. That is the basic pay plus dearness allowances plus all HRA and any incentive or bonus thereof, and money value of concessional supply of food grains, if any, given to the other articles that is provided to a women worker if she is working, will remain available to her when she is on maternity leave. Now, if a women worker dies during the benefit period, the benefit will be payable to the dependent, that is up to or including the day of her death. In case she died, a child for the entire period, in case she dies after the child, that is up to and including the day of child's death, increase in case the child also dies during that period, the benefit is payable to a maximum period of 12 weeks for which not more than 6 weeks shall precede the date of her expected delivery. There is a notice of claim as per the Act. A women employee is entitled to maternity may give a notice in writing in the prescribed form to her stating follows. Number 1, that her maternity benefit may be paid to her or to her nominee to be specified in the notice. Second thing that she has got to take is that she will not work in any establishment during the period for which she receives maternity benefit. And third, that she will be absent from work from such date to be specified by her, which shall not be earlier than 6 weeks before the date of her expected delivery, that is given in section 6(1) and section 6(2), that is section 6 subsection 1 and subsection 2. The notice may be given during pregnancy or as soon as possible after the day of her delivery. The failure to give notice does not debar a candidate from availing the maternity leave. That is a notice given even afterwards. Payment of maternity benefit. The employer or to pay the amount of maternity benefit for the period preceding the delivery in advance to the women employee on production of proof of pregnancy. The balance of amount due for the subsequent period should be paid within 40 days of the production of proof of delivery. So 1 month's salary will be paid in advance and all other will be paid within 40 days of the proof of delivery. In case of death of a women employee entitled to maternity benefit, the employer shall pay the amount of benefit to her nominee or legal representative as the case which is given in maternity benefit. This is the benefit, 12 weeks of leave that is given as far as the 1989 is concerned. The 6th Pay Commission for central, not for the state government employee, increased this period of 12 weeks to 18 weeks. So 6th Pay Commission increased the period of 12 weeks of leave to 18 weeks of leave that is there. Now, the 7th Pay Commission further increased this leave and they made it to 26 weeks of leave has to be given. Apart from adding the child care leave of up to 2 years, but it can be taken one go. It is to be taken for 2 children for a maximum period of 1 year child care leave. Now, this is as far as the provision that has been changed in the 6th Pay Commission and 7th Pay Commission vis-a-vis the payment of maternity benefit. We also find that leave is given per the Act for miscarriage and pregnancy. In case of miscarriage, a women worker shall, on production of prescribed proof, is entitled to leave with wages maternity benefit for a period of 6 weeks immediately following the day of her miscarriage. There is no change in this 6 weeks of leave for miscarriage in either of the pay commissions or in 1989 amendment. Besides, leave for maximum period month with wages at maternity benefits are allowed in case of illness arising out of pregnancy, delivery, premature birth of child, or miscarriage that is given in section 9 and 10 of the Maternity Benefits Act. So 1 month of leave can be given for pregnancy related illnesses or miscarriage related illnesses. The women worker as far as maternity benefits is concerned is entitled for medical bonus. So every woman entitled to medical benefit shall be entitled to medical bonus of rupees 250 if no prenatal confinement and postnatal care is provided for by the employer free of charge. So if child care, medical bonus will only be not pay, for the medical prenatal and postnatal care. But today, if you look at the position, it is prenatal and postnatal condition is provided free of cost to the women worker, and they are reimbursed that amount if she has paid it herself. And this amount of 250 has been availed. That amount is given to the women worker who are entitled for the maternity benefit. Now, as per the Maternity Benefits Act, nursing breaks are also allowed to every woman who returns to duty after delivery of children, in addition to the interval of the rest allowed to her, be allowed in the course of her daily work 2 breaks of 15 minutes each, apart from the lunch break for a child, until the child attains the age of 15 months. This is given in section 11 of the Maternity Benefits Act. We also find that there is no deduction of for the nursing break, and there are certain obligations for employers. That is, important obligations of employer under the Act are to pay maternity benefit and bonus, etc., to the employee who are entitled for this particular benefit. We also find that women shall not be engaged in contravention section 4 of the Maternity Benefits Act, the job which are considered hazardous for her during the pregnancy period. They will also display the provisions of Maternity Benefits Act at conspicuous places in the organization. It also says that they will maintain a register in which, as and when received, the name of the women will be written, and the detailed performer shall also be entered on the register, because there is a penalty for not maintaining register as far as the employer's liability is concerned. Now, if there is a dispute on maternity benefits, the employer to appeal to the commission within 30 days of arising of the dispute. The rights of employees are that they can make a complaint to the claim the amount of maternity benefit improperly withheld by the employer, that is given in section 17 subsection 1 of the Maternity Benefits Act. If there is any misappropriation, or if there is any impropriety in terms of giving the amount, then the matter can be taken to the inspector within the 30 days. Now, if there is an appeal to be made, that appeal will be made within any clinical or any problem of benefit. We also find that if the employer do not comply with the maternity benefits, it is considered as an offense, and penalties are liable in 3 different conditions. The first condition is that failure to pay maternity benefit as provided for 1961. The penalty is imprisonment up to 1 year and fine up to rupees 5,000 that can be given, but in no case less than 3 months imprisonment and 2,000 rupees of fine can be avoided, right? This is the provision. The second condition is that the employer, if they dismiss or discharge a women employee in contravention of Maternity Benefits Act, same penalty, that is imprisonment, maximum imprisonment of 1 year and fine of 5,000 to be paid, and the minimum is also applicable, that is 3 months and 2,000 rupees of fine. Now, failure to produce any register or document before or obstructing the inspector, the punishment is 1 year imprisonment and 5,000 rupees of fine. And fourth is any other of the Act, contravention of any other provisions of the Act, as the case may be. There are rules to governing this, and penalties will be the same. There is 6 months upon confinement and 6 months after confinement, which is given in the Maternity Benefits Act. We also have got state maternity benefits acts or a scheme. The state legislatures, majority of them, provide different varying qualifying as far as this particular qualifying condition. All the state legislature lay down minimum service conditions for eligibility to benefit under the scheme. The period varies from 6 months to 150 days. All the acts provide that the women worker must be given on the first sign of pregnancy, that is, as soon as she comes to know about pregnancy. Now, benefits even in the state act are both monetary as well as non-monetary benefits, and the state who provides for compulsory legality of lighter work to such workers during their pregnancy and during post-natal period. Duration of benefit, as we said, is 12 weeks in the state legislature, which has been changed, but the option of the employee is that they can avail benefit either under the state government rules or through government rules becomes defunct once the Central Act has been enacted. Now, what is the assessment of this particular scheme that is there? Although there is, to a great extent, it has evaded on a large scale also. The main reason for the period, lack of employment for these acts are the ignorance of the female worker and laxity of the inspector that is there. Inspector has also provided a loophole in this particular act. Now, it also has alleged that the enactment on maternity benefits has resulted in shrinkage of female employee in employment. There is a lack of uniformity as far as this act is concerned, and employer's liability principles are not clearly laid down, lack of compulsory provisions of medical benefits are also noticed by the what we find that under the present crisis, we have this particular act which provides for the benefits. Now, the Fifth Pay Commission, as we all know, introduced the system of paternity leave of 2 weeks. That is, the father of the child will get 2 weeks of leave, but this is only given for the first to child's birth, not thereafter. The leave can be claimed, but that will be unpaid leave of 2 weeks that can be given, like the unpaid leave of maternity benefits that is given to the employee. Now, this is as far as Maternity Benefits Act is concerned. If you have any question on the Maternity Benefits Act, please feel free to ask. Hello? Anybody has any question on this particular topic that I have covered?
Sir, as there are too many provisions in this Maternity Act, so that might discourage the employer from employing female workers, and hence it will reduce their work share. So how is it even?
That is the apprehension. That is the apprehension shown. But the restriction is that if it is proved that the employer has denied female, employment on the ground that she will claim maternity benefit, then that is liable to be penalized, right? But then you cannot really think of, because once a female employee goes for interviews, one of the questions that is asked by the employer is about the plans, that is the marriage plan that a female worker has got. What is the marriage plan of the female worker? Now from there they can going to employ the female. If the marriage plan is that she is going to marry after 4 or 5 years of employment, then she will get the benefit. Otherwise, she may be, treated with negative biases, as far as the act is concerned. But if somebody is capable enough, then this hindrance is not there. Okay? Any other question that you have? Any other? No? Hello?
No.
No, sir.
No, I think people log in and get out. What is the matter? They are not responding at all. Only 2-3 people respond. The rest all are not there. Now we have got one more topic left. That is the ESI Act that I will cover on the next turn. Now after the coverage of that, your course is as good as complete as far as 5 units are concerned. Only thing that we have got to do is internal assessment forward and let you know on the next turn as to how we are going to have that assessment being done of 70 marks that is there. Okay. Thank you very much for today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.